Well, I've been talking a lot about starting a YouTube channel over 50. And one of the very first questions people want answered is, what equipment do I need? Well, we're going to talk about what you really need and just what might be nice to have. Coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue, where we talk about how to make money, save money, and create a retirement from nothing. Well, in my series where I am talking about starting a YouTube channel over 50, a lot of people want to know, yeah, but what is it really going to cost me? I mean, what equipment do I really need? Well, if you've watched a lot of YouTube creator videos, man, they talk about all different kinds of equipment, and it can be really confusing. But when I started my channel, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. And so one of the things I did, I set my channel up in October of 2019. And that's when I started researching what kind of equipment. My first thought was, well, I'll just record everything on my phone, which you absolutely can do. Many YouTube creators start out by recording things on their phone. However, at this point, my phone was about 4 years old. Its video capabilities weren't great, and it ran the battery down constantly. So that was really a problem. And honestly, I wanted something I could set up and leave set up. I didn't want to feel like that I had to reset everything up, you know. I wanted a space, I could create a space in my home, which I've done, a little studio where I could just set things up and leave it. And when I got ready to record a video, I could just plop down, turn it on, and go. And so that's the reason I chose to actually purchase a camera. Now it's up to you what kind of camera you want to purchase. I chose to purchase a Canon M50. Canons are very easy to use. It's kind of a mid-level camera. It's not super expensive. It's not super cheap. But I felt like it was a great camera. And I watched a lot of videos on cameras before I chose a Canon M50. But I felt like it was a good camera for me. Now realize, I've never used a professional camera. So it's not like I had any experience whatsoever. I had zero. And when I got the camera in, the only section of the instructions I read was how to shoot video. I did not learn how to take pictures with it. I didn't learn what all the buttons are for. I just learned how to shoot video. That's it. That's it. And that's where I started. Now when I bought my camera, I also bought a tripod. A really good tripod, I think, is essential. Even if you are shooting with your camera, it helps hold the camera steady, obviously. And you can set it at any height you want. So the ones I chose are actually in the description, my link to my Amazon. And that link has all my equipment. But I felt like the tripod was a really good buy. And it has been. I have loved my tripod. And here again, you don't have to buy one that's fancy. It just has to work. That's it. I also bought one of these. One of these little, you screw your camera on right here. It also has an attachment. If you're using your phone, you can screw the attachment on and attach your phone to it. But this little thing is super handy. Who would have thought this thing would be so handy? It really is. You can use it to shoot selfies, to shoot a vlog. You can attach it to almost anything. I've attached it to my rearview mirror in my truck, to a tree. I have attached it to all kinds of things outside. I have attached it to shelves or whatever. Places where your regular tripod won't work. But it has been incredibly functional. So that one is a little bit of an extra thing, but I recommend that one. Now let's talk about lighting. Here again, you will see so many videos on lighting. And a lot of that is good information. But truthfully, you can use light from a window. You do not have to have special lights at all. Now the reason that I chose not to use a light from a window is I wear glasses. And when you have a direct light, there is a glare on your glasses. Now I decided I did not want to use contacts. I wanted to keep using my glasses. And so I had to have a little bit of an indirect light. One of the other issues that I really wanted to overcome was I wanted to be able to shoot no matter what the weather was. If it was snowing, if it was raining, if it was dark outside, if it was the middle of the night, if it was early morning. And when you're using light from a window, it's really important you shoot at the exact same time every day, or the light in your videos will always be different. And so I didn't want that hindrance. I wanted to have the freedom to shoot whenever. So I bought a little ring light, which sits behind me for extra lighting. And I also have box lights. These box lights are actually really soft lights. So they tend to be a little bit more flattering than any kind of direct light. And they are white lights. And here again, they're not expensive, but they're really functional for what I needed. Now, other than those items, the only extra things that I purchased were batteries, extra batteries, and extra SD cards to store videos, so I would have extra storage. Those were the only extras I bought. Now, once I had those things and I could start practice shooting video, I realized my background and my backdrops, I needed some help there. It's really important to have a relatively neutral background. Even if you're in a room with things behind you, you don't want too much behind you. The first videos I did, you'll notice my backdrop was relatively dark. It was still gray, a neutral color, but it was relatively dark. Y'all, that is a shower curtain from the dollar store that I attached to my wall with thumbtacks. That was my studio. Okay? Not fancy, nothing expensive, and you could change the color to whatever, but I really suggest a neutral color, whether that's a tan or whether that's a gray. I prefer the gray and cooler colors. And now I do occasionally have things in the background just so it's not quite so plain, but you don't need those things. Just a neutral background. Actually, one of the best places to shoot a video is in a closet that has carpet. It helps your sound. It's a small room. You can tack up a shower curtain. Nobody knows the difference. But one of the things I really want to point out is it is not about your equipment. No matter how much you spend or don't spend on that equipment, that's not going to matter to people watching your videos. They don't care. In fact, the simpler your video is, the more people who like it. There's not a lot of clutter. There's not a lot of distraction. You don't have cars in the background and noise, and there's none of that. You can shoot a very simple video on your phone and still have success as an over 50 YouTuber. So don't let the idea that you have to spend a lot of money get in your way. You don't. I chose to spend a little bit of money just because I wanted certain things, like something I could leave set up all the time, like a camera separate from my phone. That was my choice. You don't have to make those choices. I think I spent right at $875 to get everything that I have. And I have already made that money back several times over. So I feel like it was worth it. But it took a long time to make that money back. So don't think you have to spend that money. How much you spend has nothing to do with how successful you will or won't be. So don't let that stop you or trip you up. Get started on your YouTube channel now, and the quicker you'll be making revenue to support any equipment you eventually want to buy. Now, I hope this has been helpful for you, and if you like this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.